Karma, the spiritual principle of cause and effect, wherein the actions of an individual, the cause, influences the future of that individual, the effect. Regardless of one's form, be it of body or soul, the actions of any individual in Boletaria will be judged accordingly. Hey guys, Ashen here, and welcome to this Demon's Souls remake video on world tendency, one of the most confusing and debated mechanics in all the series. I am going to share with you all my findings and try to clear up this largely unexplained feature of the game. If you like my channel, please subscribe, I really appreciate it. Right, let's get straight into it. So what is world tendency? Well, world tendency is essentially the measurement of difficulty for each world in the game. Each world's tendency is separate from another, so where one's world tendency might be neutral, another's might be pure white, and another's might be pure black, and these aren't the only levels of tendency a world can have. So what levels of tendency are there, and what do they mean? Well, we always start the game with a new character with neutral world tendency, and from here we can go towards white, so neutral white, white, and maxing out at pure white, or we can go from neutral towards black, so neutral black, black, and maxing out at pure black. Well, let's have a look at pure white and white world tendencies first. In these worlds, enemies will be weaker, players' max HP in soul form will be increased, your attack power in soul form will be increased. As a phantom, helping another player in co-op, your attack power will also be increased. You will gain access to specific NPCs, usually quest givers, but your item drops will be less in rarity, and you will also gain less souls than you would to a world more towards black tendency. Which brings us then to black tendency and pure black tendency. So, in these worlds, enemies will be stronger, max HP in soul form will be decreased, attack power as an invading phantom will be increased, so PvP, black phantom versions of enemies will appear, black phantom versions of NPCs will appear, so your quest givers will be hostile, primeval demons will appear, more on those later, you will get rarer item drops, and you will gain more souls for killing enemies. So how exactly do we move our world tendency from neutral towards pure white or pure black? Well, the easiest way to move through white tendency to pure white is to simply kill bosses. By the time you have killed the penultimate boss in each world, so the boss before the last boss, you will have achieved a pure white world tendency for that world. But if you die at any time in body form, you may jeopardize this. Which brings us to how we move towards pure black world tendency. The easiest way to move towards pure black is to simply die in body form. Every time you die in body form, your world tendency will move towards black and eventually become pure black. So if you are looking to get pure white world tendency for all of your worlds, I just want to give you some advice. Never risk playing through any of the worlds in body form. Always play in soul form. Dying in soul form has no effect on world tendency whatsoever, so when you kill a boss and regain your body, warp straight to the Nexus, run up high and throw yourself off to die. Dying in the Nexus won't affect any world's tendency. Then you can come back to any world and you don't have to worry about dying and messing up your world tendency. Also, you will only see the change to world tendency when you warp to another Arkstone in the world, or you warp back to the Nexus. Now, along with the generic changes to world tendency, each world has its own individual events which trigger when you change the world tendency to pure white or pure black. Let's start then with World 1, the Boleterian Palace. Looking at pure white first, the first thing we may notice is that the dragons have left World 1-1. More significantly than the dragons in World 1-1 is the fact that the gate to the execution grounds is now open. And through here we can fight Executioner Meralda in her body form, and if we kill her we get a Master's Ring and her gear. Then if we're willing to explore the tower that she's in, we can find the Brushwood Armour set, which is Bjor's set, and we can also brave the Treacherous Beams to get a colourless Demon Soul. But just remember that if you kill Executioner Meralda in her body form, it will lower your world tendency towards black. Okay, so what happens when we have the Boleterian Palace with pure black world tendency? Well, the Executioner Grounds will be open again, but this time Executioner Meralda will be in her black phantom form, and she will be a lot more difficult to beat. When you do beat her, you'll get the Guillotine Axe, and for killing her in black phantom form, your world tendency will go from pure black back to neutral. So in 1-3, we get to see our first primeval demon. These appear when you have pure black world tendency. They're very easy to kill, so don't worry. And when you do kill them, they'll go from pure black back to neutral, and you get a colourless demon soul. Now, if you manage to kill a world's black phantom and a world's primeval demon without resetting the world in any way, you will go from pure black world tendency to white. Next up then is World 2, Stonefang Tunnel, and if we come to World 2-2 with pure white world tendency, we will see that Screever the Wanderer has appeared, and if we show him the Dragonbone Smasher sword, he will give us a pure greystone. But how do we get the Dragonbone Smasher sword? Well, in the final boss room of World 2, if we have pure white world tendency, the rubble blocking the path to the sword will be cleared. With pure black world tendency then in 2-2, Screever will be a black phantom. He will be quite difficult to kill, but if we do manage to kill him, we will get a Talisman of Beasts. Again, with pure black world tendency, the primeval demon can be found in 2-1 at the very beginning, just down the elevator here. And if we kill it, we will see our world tendency rise back to neutral. And of course, if we can kill Screever as well, it's going to go back even higher. Next up then, let's have a look at World 3, the Tower of Latria. With pure white world tendency, why don't we start at Upper Latria, World 3-2. From the first place that you kill the preachers to drop the big blob, when you come up here now with pure white world tendency, a plank of wood now fills the gap, and you can come up, keep coming up these steps, and when you get to the top, you will find the key that unlocks Lord Rydel's cell. He's the blue NPC that you've probably heard screaming "help me" throughout the first part of this world, the Prison of Hope. Back in World 3-1 then, the Prison of Hope, we can now use the key to free Lord Rydell, and for doing so, he will give us the Dull Rat's Ring. Before you leave this area though, if you simply just turn around from his cell, you'll notice a pile of rubble. Now this will be here throughout the game until you get pure white world tendency, and then it will have disappeared. And you can now loot some nice items from the cells down here, one being a pretty nice armour set. Freeing Lord Rydell will also give us access to a locked gate that leads to the second floor east wing, and once you get the key from the cells here, you can come in and open up this cell to get the much coveted Rogue's Gear. When we have the Tower of Latria at pure black world tendency then, first up we will see poor Lord Rydell as a black phantom, freed from his cell, and a pretty tough one, as you can see my souls on the floor, but if we manage to beat him we will get the phosphorescent pole, and obviously it will move our pure black world tendency to neutral. When we come to World 3-2 Upper Latria and come down to the depths, not only do we have our primeval demon down here, but also we can get a Sodden Ring, which is really great. Let's look at World 4 next then. So with pure white world tendency, if we come to the Shrine of Storms, the Island's Edge, the first Arkstone, we will see straight away that an NPC has appeared. His name is Satsuki, and he asks to see the magic sword Makoto. So, if we come to the Ritual Path, World 4-2, and come back to the pit that Patches pushes us down, if we have pure white world tendency, we will find that the magic sword Makoto is now on the floor, not on top of the rocks. Now, unfortunately, no matter what you do, Satsuki will attack you, and if you give him the sword, he will attack you with the sword. If you don't, he will just attack you anyway. And when you kill him, you will either get the sword back from him, or you will get nothing because you still have it in your inventory. And when you kill him in his body form, you will move your world tendency back to neutral. When we have World 4 as pure black world tendency then, of course Satsuki will be a Black Phantom. Now he's very difficult. I haven't had a single playthrough where he hasn't been able to one-shot me, but if we manage to beat him, you will get the hiltless sword, and we will move our world tendency back towards neutral. When we come to World 4-2 then, the ritual path with pure black tendency, just come up the stairwell on the left and through a secret wall. And when you come down here, just avoid the Blade Master, and when you run up the side of the cliff, you will find our Primeval just perched at the top, blocking our path. Okay, finally then, let's look at World 5, Valley of Defilement. If we come here with pure white world tendency, in 5.1 you will notice this ladder has appeared halfway through the area, and if you climb it, it will take you up to some enemies and the short spear, Istarel. So in Area 2 of World 5, with pure white world tendency then, just before the village, we can meet Celine Vinland, Garl Vinland's sister. So she will give us a quest to go and find him. So if we go back to the last boss's room, Maiden Estrella's room, we will find a Black Phantom version of Garl Vinland. We must kill him, get his crest, and then bring it back to Celine for the Ring of Devout Prayer. With pure black world tendency for World 5 then, if we come back to Celine in World 5-2, of course she will be a Black Phantom. But if we beat her, we will get the sword Blind, which is a pretty nifty sword which ignores enemies' shields. And again in World 5-2, just before the village, if we walk out into the swamp, we will find our Primeval Demon. Whew, so there we have it guys, this is everything I know about world tendency in Demon Souls. So, I really hope this video was helpful. Please leave comments on the stuff that you found in regards to world tendency, I would love to know more. I really hope this video was helpful to you, and please join me in the next one. Like and subscribe to my channel, I really appreciate it. Cheers!